Hi, this is Baxter County Sheriff John Montgomery. I would like to take a few minutes to talk about the quality of life in Baxter County and the looming crisis that threatens it. Whether you live in town or in the country, people in Baxter County enjoy an incredible quality of life. With some of the finest public schools, a college campus that is one of the most beautiful in the country, a $12 million library that is used by thousands of people each year, a hospital and medical community that is the envy of places many times our size, and of course, our beautiful lakes, rivers, and national forest. However, there's another aspect of our community that I think we all sometimes take for granted: our low crime rate and the safety and security we feel. Baxter County is recognized nationally for our low crime rate because personal crimes, rape, robbery, and murder are a rarity here, and we don't experience the angst and fear of going to the gas station or grocery store, even at night. But if you take any one of these things away, you will hurt our overall quality of life. And that leads me to the looming crisis we're facing. I want you to use your imagination for a moment. What if you had to move into a new home that is 3 times larger than your current home, and you suddenly had to support a new family of 8 who moved into the house with you? Yet you're receiving the same paycheck you had before this move. There will be higher insurance costs, utilities, food, medical expenses, even more toilet paper. No matter how hard you try to scrimp and save, you'll be faced with budget crisis, wouldn't you? Welcome to the world of the Baxter County Sheriff's Office and the Detention Center. In 2004, a new detention center was built to the service of all law enforcement agencies in Baxter County. This was prior to my first term in office in 2005. This detention center was paid for from the sale of the county-owned hospital. A good move because the jail was paid for. However, no additional funding was provided to actually run the new, larger detention center. Now back to our imaginary story. Your new, larger house doesn't have a mortgage, which was true of your old house, but it does have more people living in it and significantly higher operating costs. But wait, you have to maintain it on your original paycheck. And did I mention that several of your new family members have expensive medical conditions and they don't have insurance? Or that you'll soon have to bring in another family and you'll need more bedroom. I've recorded this video to give you the facts and background to explain why a conservative sheriff is proposing a 1/4 cent sales tax to fund the detention center operations. The issue will be on the November 6, 2012 ballot, and I strongly believe that voters need to be equipped with the information and facts before they go to the poll. Arkansas counties have typically built their jail with a 1 cent sales tax to build the facility and a 1/4 to 1/2 cent sales tax to operate and maintain the new detention center. 2 to 3 years later, the new detention center is paid for and the 1 cent sales tax expires, while the 1/4 to 1/2 cent sales tax remains to fund ongoing operations and maintenance and prepare for future growth of the inmate population. As I mentioned, when Baxter County decided to build a jail, they elected to go a different route, using funds from the sale of the county-owned hospital to pay off the bond issue. Unfortunately, no provisions were made to fund the operations and maintenance of the new detention center. The old detention center held 33 inmates compared to the 104 inmate capacity in the new jail. That's over 3 times larger. The new detention center has an average daily inmate population of 73, although we've housed more than 100 inmates on several days throughout the past couple of years. Now let's look at what happens to the operating costs when you more than double the population from the old jail to the new. Did you know that the moment an inmate is booked into the jail, his or her government-provided medical insurance, Medicare, Medicaid, or VA benefits stops? This means the detention center pays for their prescription medicine, any doctors or hospital visits, etc. And unlike our imaginary family with known medical conditions, the detention center has no idea who will require expensive medical care and pharmaceutical needs. Our current budget for medical is $9,500. By the halfway point this year, we had spent more than 3 times this amount. Even though the inmate population has doubled, the number of jailers has not increased in the past 7 years. In fact, we've had over 100 inmates several times in the past 2 years. Most of the time, one detention center officer, acting as a booking officer, will be responsible for as many as 100 inmates. When compared to other counties who have jails the same capacity as ours, they all have 6 to 11 more jailers on staff than we do. All costs have gone up, from insurance, utilities, maintenance, to food and prisoner clothing, and yes, even toilet paper. But these expenses are associated with the current inmate population. So what about future expansion and repairs? Let me give you an example of cost. We served 77,868 meals last year. Even though we do everything we can to keep the cost of meals as low as possible, it still cost us almost $70,000 a year to feed the inmates. Even with our menu, we have continually gone over our food budget by several $1,000s each year. But let me make one point very clear. The Baxter County Detention Center is not the Holiday Inn. We serve the same meal virtually 365 days a year. They get oatmeal for breakfast, bologna for lunch, and beans and cornbread for dinner every day. There's no TV, no radio, no music, no smoking or tobacco of any kind. They get 1 hour fresh air every day, and they're given the opportunity to do community service work to give back to the community when staff is available to take them out. Remember, it's jail. It's not supposed to be pleasant. Last year, the jail budget was in the red by more than $137,000, due mainly to medical, pharmaceutical, and food costs. The problem and looming crisis is that the law clearly states the jail shall be funded before any other county services. In order not to have to lay off deputies or take them out of the schools, we have to take monies from the following year's budgets just to make up the shortfall. And as you're well aware, you can't keep doing this. We're getting deeper and deeper in the hole. There are 4 factors that have created a perfect storm that creates and threatens the financial stability of the county. Act 570 was passed last year and has radically changed the number of prisoners who can be housed in state prison. Guess where many of the others go? That's right, to the county jail. And as our population increases, so do the number of inmates. Medical costs are skyrocketing. Sales tax revenues are down and budgets have remained flat. We have to take action now. Now, at this point, we've been discussing the issues dealing with the jail. The second problem, which is equally disturbing, has to do with the sheriff's budget. The population of Baxter County has grown significantly in the past few years. There are simply not enough deputies to patrol and answer calls in a safe and timely manner. When fully staffed, meaning no deputies sick, on vacation, or gone for training, we have 3 patrol deputies to cover the entire county, almost 600 square miles. Not only does this mean reduced response time to calls, it means the deputies are put at risk with many times having no backup available on emergency calls. There has been no increase in staffing of patrol deputies in almost 15 years. Our other critical issue is employee retention. It takes about 5 months once a deputy is hired and has gone through the training before he or she can be put in a car alone. And it takes several more months before they have the experience. Recently, we lost a dispatcher who went to work for the Mountain Home Police Department for more than a $4,000 pay increase, plus better health insurance, more vacation, and he will receive a pay raise every 6 months for the next 2.5 years, guaranteed. With the past couple of years, we've lost a deputy who went to work for the Bull Shoals Police Department for more than a $9,000 increase in pay, better insurance, more vacation, and better retirement. 2 more deputies left to go to the Mountain Home Police Department, both for an increase in pay of more than $8,000, and yes, with better benefits again. Currently, our deputies make $8,000 to $10,000 less than the surrounding police agencies in Baxter County. We just lost a secretary who left for a $6 an hour pay increase, and the starting pay to hire her replacement, $8.13 per hour. This has resulted in a loss of more than 25 employees over the past 8 years at a tremendous cost of both money for training and valuable experience. We've become a training ground for other agencies. We've tried numerous things to attempt to keep our costs down and try to stay within our jail budget, but it's just not possible with current funding. After traveling around the state and exploring other options, it became clear the only viable solution was to ask for a sales tax to fund the maintenance and operation of the jail. After agonizing over this for months and many sleepless nights, a decision was made to ask the voters to approve a 1/4 cent sales tax that would be used exclusively to fund the jail. Based on the lowest sales tax collections over the past 5 years, this quarter-cent sales tax would generate more than $1.4 million. To properly fund the jail, we need approximately $1.2 million. The proposed budget for the $1.4 million would allow for the immediate hiring of 4 additional jailers, which would put an additional jailer on duty 24 hours a day. It would allow us to put a supervisor on each work shift to increase accountability. It would allow for the hiring of a full-time nurse, which has been shown to reduce medical costs. It would also cover shortfalls in the current budget, which has averaged $125,000 per year. This would also allow the county to no longer charge the cities to house their prisoners. A very important point is that the sales tax is dedicated to be only used to operate the jail. It cannot be used to pave roads or buy road graders. However, what it does do is free up revenue for the county. The county would no longer have to fund the jail because the sales tax would. This means that approximately $850,000 will be available to fund other county services, including the sheriff's office. What we propose is to take about half of this $850,000 and put it back into the sheriff's office to hire 3 additional road deputies and put the salaries of the deputies to where they're equal to Mountain Home and other surrounding police agencies. This will still leave more than $400,000 to the county in additional revenue that they did not have before. In my opinion, we basically have 3 options. Option 1 is to do nothing and let things go on as they are now. The problem with this option is that the law says the jail shall be funded before any other county services. This means the jail budget shortfalls will have to be made up somewhere else, and will likely mean there will be roads not graded or repaired as they once were, and most likely will mean we'll have to lay off road deputies or take them out of the schools. The second option is to raise the millage on your property tax. Currently, the cities have anywhere from 2 to 5 mills to operate their cities. The fire departments around the county have 3 to 5 mills to run their fire departments. The college receives 2 mills, and the library receives 1 mill. However, Baxter County millage rate is 0.8 mill. That's 8/10 of 1 mill. That's less than a mill. There are only 2 counties in the state of Arkansas that have a lower operating millage. Now, personally, I'm not in favor of raising the millage because only the people who own property would be paying. Most of the inmates in our jail do not own property. The third option is what I feel is the most fair. This spreads the responsibility around so that everyone pays a small amount, but it adds up to a huge amount. Everyone who comes here pays their fair share. If they're buying hardware or beer, if they vacation here or they're just passing through, whether they own property or not, even though it's a small amount, everyone is paying their fair share. So what does a quarter cent actually cost? Well, if you take your child or grandchild and spend $4 for a kid's meal, it'll cost you 1 penny. And if you and your spouse go out to dinner and spend $20, it will cost you 1 nickel. If you go to the hardware store or grocery store and spend $100, it'll cost you 25 cents. Think about this for a moment. Let's say we run into each other at the grocery store. We stop, exchange pleasantries, and as I start to walk off, I asked you if you have a quarter. You know, I'll bet that 99% of you would reach into your pocket or purse and hand me a quarter without asking me what I needed or even wanted it for. With this sales tax, I am asking for that quarter, that 25 cents. Only I'm going to tell you what I need it for. I'm going to tell you how it's going to help me, and I'm going to tell you how it's ultimately going to help me help you. I'm not going to ask you to vote for this tax. All I ask is that you study the issue, look at the problems and potential looming crisis that's facing the sheriff's office, and think about our quality of life we all enjoy. Think about the safety and security we all have here, and when you step into the voting booth on November 6th, cast an educated and informed vote on this quarter-cent jail tax. Whether that's a yes or a no, I will respect the will of the voters, and no matter what, I promise I will continue to fight to preserve the safety and security we all enjoy. Many of you have asked how you can help, and here are 3 easy ways. Number 1, share this video link with others. They can go to the BaxterCountySheriff.com main page and click on the sales tax video link. You can also copy the URL and send it by way of email, or take the URL and put it on Facebook or Twitter. Number two, if you have a group of people or a club who you believe should hear this important message, please contact me and I will be glad to come and speak to your group. Number three, the best way to help is word of mouth every time you're around your friends, family, or coworkers. I want to thank you for taking the time to hear about this important issue that is facing Baxter County. I also want to thank you for your continued support.